Imagine being stopped for no reason, just trying to grab a coffee, only to be thrown up against a car, cuffed, and completely underestimated. What happened next? Keep watching to see how one powerful woman turned the tables in less than an hour and changed 2 lives forever. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below sharing what you think should have happened to the officers. It was a quiet morning in Riverside, not far from the Pentagon. The sun was rising, birds were chirping, and General Carla Mitchell, fresh off a secret mission overseas, had just pulled into a small cafe for her usual black coffee. Nothing fancy, just a moment of peace before another long day of strategy meetings. Carla wasn't dressed in uniform. She wore jeans, boots, and a simple jacket. But anyone who knew power would have felt it in the way she walked. Calm, confident, and completely in control. As she stepped out of her sleek black SUV, 2 officers began watching her closely. Their cruiser had been parked nearby, and they exchanged glances. "Unmarked vehicle," muttered Officer Dale, squinting at her car. "Could be stolen. Or maybe it's just someone with taste," replied his partner, Officer Trent, half joking, but suspicion already brewing. They approached her casually at first, hands on their belts, smiles tight. Carla turned, confused but polite. "Ma'am," Dale started, "we need to ask you a few questions." She raised an eyebrow. "Is there a problem, officer?" "You fit a description," Trent said, voice sharp. "Funny," she replied, crossing her arms. "I'd like to know which one." The conversation shifted quickly. Carla asked why she was being detained. They insisted it was protocol. She questioned their authority. That's when things escalated. In one swift motion, Officer Trent grabbed her arm. Hard. "You're resisting arrest." Carla didn't flinch. Her posture stayed strong as they forced her face down onto the hood of the patrol car. A small crowd had gathered. Phones were out. Gasps echoed through the air. But Carla didn't panic. She didn't shout or cry. Instead, she looked over her shoulder and said, quietly, asterisk, "You have no idea who you just handcuffed." Asterisk. Then, after a pause that hung heavy in the air, she added, asterisk, "But I think my call will fix that in about 10 minutes. Asterisk. The cops laughed. Trent rolled his eyes. "Lady, you ain't calling nobody." But Carla had something most civilians didn't. Iron nerves and a memory sharper than any badge. With her hands cupped behind her back, she locked eyes with a stunned bystander holding a phone. "Dial these numbers," she said, calmly reciting a string of digits. The young man hesitated, then did as he was told. 2 rings. Then came a crisp, professional voice. "Pentagon secure line." The cops froze. The line clicked open. "This is General Carla Mitchell. Badge number 7491 and 8206 just placed me under unlawful detention. I need immediate confirmation of their authority and full command presence on site. Now." Silence. Then the radio crackled. "All units stand down. I repeat, stand down. This is not a drill." Sirens that were coming closer suddenly stopped. Backup wasn't for them anymore. It was against them. The chief's voice boomed through the comms, barely hiding his horror. "You just arrested a top-level Pentagon officer. God help you both." Minutes later, Carla stood tall as the cuffs were removed. The officer stammered apologies, faces pale. She simply brushed off her coat, picked up the phone again, and dialed. "Secretary James." "Yes, it's me." "Begin full audits on those 2 officers. Every stop, every report, every complaint. I want the truth above the uniform." By sunset, both officers were suspended. By the end of the week, charges were filed. And the next morning, as Carla walked into the Pentagon, news stations played footage of the 2 former officers leaving their precinct in shame. Moral lesson: power doesn't always wear a uniform, and respect shouldn't depend on what someone's wearing. True justice starts with seeing people, not labels. Asterisk, asterisk. If you found this story inspiring, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs a reminder about accountability. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that challenge the status quo. Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? And what do you think should happen when authority meets arrogance? We'll see you in the next one.